about to say. And if there be any word good for the use of edifying, give it, that thou mayest minister grace unto the hearers. Grant that I may speak boldly. I open my mouth wide, O Lord, do thou fill it. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
I haven't thought about it before, but the second Sunday after Christmas is always the flight to Egypt. And a couple days later comes Epiphany, the visitation of the three magi. One problem that I hadn't noticed before: these readings are backwards chronologically. Three wise men arrive in Jerusalem asking Herod where the king of the Jews is in the normal chronology. He says, "Congratulations, you found him." I say, "Well, that's impossible, for he's just been born." "I have no son born recently." "You obviously mean a usurper has been born." Maybe we just came to the wrong place. This is Jerusalem, and this is where kings are made. Then you are not the king. "Where is this king you speak of?" Herod would say. "We must have read the star wrong. Have a nice day." And they went and found Jesus, and Epiphany was born. Because of their mistaken identity, Herod went on a rampage in an attempt to find this usurper. In the land, Herod had all the male children 2 years old and younger killed. The foreknowledge of this was brought to Joseph in a dream, where he was told by an angel to take the child and his mother and flee to Egypt. Then the slaughter happens, and then Herod dies. When he is dead, the angel returns to Joseph in a dream and tells him that it is safe to come back, but not safe enough to return to Bethlehem. So they moved to the district of Galilee and to a city called Nazareth. For some reason, in this beginning part of the year, this story is told out of order. We commemorate the slaughter of the holy innocents on December 28th. Then the flight to Egypt on the Sunday after, or however it falls. This year it's the Sunday after. And then we have Epiphany on January 6th, or as in our case, the Sunday afterward. When we were on a one-year lectionary in the 28 prayer book and previous, I looked, and turns out that this is the same there as well. This is not just some sort of a newfangled thing that they wanted to do. This has been the decision of the church for a very long time to preach this story out of order. It's never told in the proper order in the life of the church, only in the study of the Bible outside our normal services. It's like the movie called Memento. It's a very strange movie if you haven't seen it, because it's told out of order. It's about a man who suffers from short-term memory loss and the inability to form new memories. He's searching for the people who attacked him and killed his wife. And so this story is told in that nonlinear format, where some of the scenes which are flashbacks are shown in a chronological order, but the order in which the movie happens is shot in reverse order. It's very strange. And then the very end of the movie, where everything now clicks in and everything makes sense, is actually the very middle of the story. All the flashbacks have made it to there, and then you work backwards in your brain. It's a very interesting concept of a movie, and kind of cool when you watch it. It hurts my brain the first time I watched it. But this is actually kind of how the story is being told here, between what we know the story to be true and the story that the way it unfolds in the year of the church. In our personal Bible study, it's told straightforward. But in the church, it's told out of order. The younglings are killed, the foreknowledge of which causes the Holy Family to flee, and all of this is the result of the visitation of the Magi. We learn the story so that we can then play with it and have it tell us something about the world around us in the church. Since we know the story already, let's take it in days and see what the story then tells us. The Holy Innocents, December 28th. This is the first of the sequences of the church year. Herod, at this point in the life of Israel, represents secular religion, for lack of a better term. Herod is the king of the Jews officially, but he's not a Jew. He's an Idumean, which is another name for this is an Edomite. And Edom is the traditional enemy of Israel. Herod was given the title of King of the Jews by the Romans. His loyalties were to Rome and not to God necessarily, and he was the King of the Jews in name only. And when this title was tested, he fought back in an entirely inhumane way, infanticide. Herod's goal in the secular realm, when pushed for their title, have the potential to react extremely violently. Any means necessary to maintain their rule. It is interesting that Herod cared nothing about the birth of Jesus until the Magi came seeking the King of the Jews. Had they never come, the Holy Family would never have had to flee to Egypt, because Herod would not have cared. The ruling authorities care not what you do so long as they remain in power. But once they feel that power slipping away, another king is recognized, then drastic measures must be taken. Now, Flight of Egypt, Christmas 2. Here God warns Joseph of the coming wrath of Herod. In this telling of the story, this warning to Joseph becomes apocalyptic. The apocalypse is the unveiling. It is God pulling back the veil to reveal the truth of what is going on behind the scenes. What happens when we choose to serve a king other than the sitting one, other than the one currently in power. The angel tells Joseph that Herod is going to search for the child to destroy him. Forewarned is forearmed. Know ahead of time what you are undertaking when you choose to serve the true king. Now, it doesn't necessarily look like it did then, but while the actors look different, the script remains the same. A secular king is going to search for the child to destroy him, because that child represents the end of his power. But what we also learn from the placement of this text is that this effort on behalf of the secular king will not result in the death of the child. Though it may seem like the king has the power to destroy the child, the ultimate power does not reside in the secular king, or he would not fear the birth of the child. If the secular king were to acknowledge the birth of the child the way that John the Baptist does, he must increase and I must decrease, there would be no conflict between the two. But as long as the secular king sees the child as a threat to his reign, he proves that he has no true power, because he does not have the power to destroy the child, nor does he have the power to prevent the will of the child from being accomplished. January 6th, the Epiphany. Finally, we come to the Magi worshiping the child as the king. The placement of this date at the end of the occurrences brings this to the forefront. What is ultimately important is the worship of the child as the king. The secular king has no power to prevent it, because his power is derivative. He would have no power if the people did not acknowledge it. This child has the power to unite the world, our Old Testament lesson tells us. For it is he who ultimately scattered us. The Lord has ransomed captive Israel and redeemed him from the hands too strong for him. Ultimately, this is from sin and death. But this is only the case if we, like the Magi, fall down and worship the child as king. So what does all of this convoluted storytelling of the story of the Magi benefit us? It is here at the beginning of each year, a yearly reminder of who truly reigns, the Christ child, whom the Magi will come and worship at Epiphany. It is the yearly reminder of what the world is capable of in pursuit of power and the slaughter of the innocents. And it is the yearly reminder of what will be the ultimate response when we choose to serve the true King. That there will be wars and rumors of wars and flights and struggles, but they will all ultimately fade away in the end. Like I said, it's a very strange way of telling a story. But once all things come together in the end, it speaks volumes. And it is something that we should always take to heart at the beginning of each year. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.